Phenomenal player. He will lead Team Liquid to an attempt at revenge. This long-standing rivalry between two of the greatest teams to ever come out of Brazil. It's FaZe and Liquid. Lair is our battleground. Can Liquid right the wrongs of the last 6 times they have played FaZe and they have fallen? All the world champions once again continue their domination over Team Liquid. Let's jump into it.
Kai being banned out first, together with Blackbeard. Okay, again, Heart Breachers, Wall Deniers, and Shields. Those are the big 3 categories we tend to see getting banned here at this event, and also in scrims when we gather talking to pro players. And they'll double down. Blackbeard and the Monty, Kaid and the Bandit. And when we get past the 3rd round, there is a world we'll see Blitz getting banned, and a Mute, for example, or 2 Browser. They can really trickle down if they want to, or they can split their eggs into different baskets, saying, okay, we've banned the Shield, now we ban some utility, for example. With that being said right now, of course, immediately Handy goes onto the Blitz. Of course, this can change with the attacker repick system that is still in the game on the SiegeX build, but this goes to show that FaZe Clan, as an attacking team, they have such a depth to their operator pool and their attacking strategies.
That they do. A lot of options here. On the defensive side, the Azami has slipped through that ban phase because of it being such a hard breach counter, such an electricity-centric veto from FaZe. Liquid looking to try and fortify their positions. They've also got the Skopos, a Greek operator. Not usual to see that. Ask also is typically, as we've said, the supportive player. And usually you put Skopos on a fragger who can essentially like fight for their life and then escape with the spare shell.
0 Heart Breach.
Oh.
Despite Bandit Kaid ban, they have brought 0 Heart Breach.
Why do you ban... They didn't even bring it on Vidiking on the strike.
You know why?
Why?
Because we're brute forcing, baby! We got the glass, we got the blitz, we got the finger. We're about to get crazy with those games. It can be a fast, brutal round, and the thing is, Liquid, they have to be prepared for this. If you're Liquid though, strategically in your mind you think, okay, they've banned Kite, they banned Bandit, it's going to be a slow round, heart breaching oriented, we can't stop them, we gotta fight the breaches. That's not going to be the case at all here. The breaches will stay intact. They are getting debated. Oh, he's drifting! He's drifting!
He still hasn't got the
He's
twitch
stuck
drone.
on the wall.
No, second twitch drone comes in. Looks for a little bit more. They're sending it very early on. We're going to just take down any traps that might be sent on through. There comes the Frinker, Adrenal Sarge. Like we were about to see the Blitz make his way in. Maya tries to escape, but Handy will not let him. A little bit of pressure though, as Handy is restricted from moving on forward. We know exactly what Handy is capable of on this Blitz, and whoa, it's awkward. Poor Ask, shut into the corner, he finds one, still manages to survive. KDS eventually goes for that refrag, leaving Liquid bloodied. Just 2 players left alive. It's Diaz and Resets on the site, holding down with half the round still to play for FaZe.
Geno Swift saves the Blitz, their Handy keeps him alive. They have 1 smoke in pocket, so to enable Souls on the glass. If FaZe can get back together and stabilize, they still have a second execute, so to speak, in the pocket. Diaz on the Warden has the perfect gadget to stop it, however. It's practically a 1v3.
They're all looking to fight him. KDS does find one, and it's all up to Resets now. Ooh. He finds a second headshot with the SMG-11. Woo! Out comes the shotgun, but Souls gets the better of him. And FaZe, in a 1v1, managed to come down through with that very first round.
Souls on hard support? Nah, Souls on glass.
Yeah, that dude's fire. I mean, I can't believe, firstly, that Resets managed to make it into that 1v1, but FaZe really chose violence when it came to that round. We saw the veto, and we were like, okay, yeah, they're going to go hard breach because they've banned out the 2 hard breach null operators, and then they just send it with this set piece with the glass and the blitz, and yeah, I mean, it got a lot closer than I thought it was going to get.
Yeah, but that's the thing, I mean, when you have the ability to brute force around like that and just say, okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go, it can just change everything, because Liquid, they have to pick their 5 defenders, obviously, and then you can attack a repeat into it. If you see a weakness, and you've banned the the wall denying operators, if you don't see like a blitz counter or a glass counter, it's just freebies, or at least it may be. In that round, the Twitch, of course, big praise, shot a lot of utility. cleared out the goo mines, I believe, on the window, so Blitz could jump on in, and then the timing saw Legion throw a second goo mine, but it didn't activate in time for Blitz, so therefore Blitz gets deep in the building, gets the opening kill, and that just opened things up. That's the thing, once you're in the building on lair, especially like in the middle of it all, you're in, you are fully committed, there's really no way back out of that one, and FaZe, they just stuck to it.
Yeah, it's very quiet. I wonder what FaZe are planning this round with hard breach on the cards, but the Fuse?
Fuse is a great operator for fun stuff. Explosions,
fun stuff.
utility clear.
Vertical game.
Yeah, I mean, clearing out Goyo canisters, Banshees, like, once you get the roam control, you can just like fuse 2 spots vertically and you don't gotta worry about any utility.
Well, you gotta put some sledge holes down, get that fuse going, and then you should get free kills on people running away from those cluster charges through the
Also
floor.
possible, like while you're planning, you just pop them. There's a couple options there.
Yeah.
I still wish you could just stack 4 of them in a row and go punk. Love that to be possible.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. Well, there's the first one. It's actually not down into the bomb side. It's onto the roam clear. Speaking of...
They'll do vert, technically.
Yeah, true,
floor.
actually. It will open up the floor already. Handy finds Maya. Where was that Legion playing? Perhaps part of the roam game. Handy ready for a second one. Resets, looking to peek him, and the roam has been completely dismantled. Nesk, arguably meant to be the primary roamer here on the Scopos, still has not found anyone. Diaz, I believe, peeked up through the floor for that kill.
Yeah.
Nesk is going to have a big impact here on this roam game.
What's this?
As you see the long angle, does not land the shot that he needed to. Now they know exactly where the Scopus is. Nesk may well need to try and go and teleport to his other shell to try and support his teammate on the site.
Togepi is going to stop that for now. Can't use the gadget during that time, and Intel is there, and you see Liquid, they think, okay, what's happening? Back, front, we don't even know where they are. Souls finds Nesk, now Diaz in a 1v4. He was so good yesterday, not good enough right now. Handy, not flashy, but so damn precise in these gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, Handy absolutely dominated on that roam clear. Nothing to say for it. Team Liquid didn't show up. FaZe looking unstoppable. They know exactly what to do on that. It is. It's just another day in the office for FaZe. That said, let's not forget, these guys did lose yesterday to W7M.
Yeah, that's the thing. Brazil keeps pumping out teams that are super, super good. Loud and W7M are both quote-unquote new rosters. Yeah. And they're both like taking swings at the top dogs.
I mean, W7M had an appearance as Team 1 just over a year ago at the Atlanta Major, where they made Grand Final, and a lot of people make deep runs. A lot of teams make one-off deep runs
and then
disappear out of nowhere. But the thing that happens with Brazilian teams is even when they're supposedly nobodies and then they come out of nowhere and have a deep run, you got to take them seriously, because it only took W7M a year after that Atlanta Major performance to actually win a major in Montreal.
That's ridiculous. And I mean, same with Loud that we just saw, right?
Absolutely.
Like, when they're Rasa Academy, it's like, yeah, they might not go top 6 ever again. They absolutely could. Like, they are so... And then they got a big org now, they got support, they got financial assistance as well. They can, like, be full-time players, if you will.
Totally. Brazil is so OP. Can I just say that? Like, how are they so good? There's been, like...
Well, I'm trying to figure that out still.
There is no doubt that they are just like the best region. Like they don't always have the #1 team in the world, and there are still really strong teams from other regions in the world. But how is it that Brazil just always has so much consistency? There's always at least 4 teams from Brazil that are serious championship contenders.
That's the thing. And it's only gotten better with time. There was a world where, you know, oh, FaZe Clan is good for Brazil, or Liquid is, but there's literally more and more and more.
Yeah.
They're at the point where they gotta send more than 4 teams to events nowadays to make them all fit. Liquid, again, just kind of waiting for the first step here. Big difference, of course, now is Liquid against C9. They could control the pace often, both in the attack and defense, saying, we want to swing, we want to fight you here. Very different looks upon the first 2 rounds and the thirds currently. Liquid are waiting for FaZe to strike first, and then just trying to have a counterplay in mind. But FaZe, once they get the running pick, they just keep going, and there's always a follow-up play elsewhere.
Good usage of the gas bay, but Maya is the first to fall. That's 3 rounds in a row that Maya has been the first one to die for Liquid. FaZe, dangerous on these opening engagements. Cyber needs to be careful not to overpeak. He's trying to support his teammate on the blitz. Handy wants to make his way deeper towards that side, put that pressure on resets. The last gas babe goes out. Still half the round to go, but Liquid are dropping one by one. A C4 goes out, but Diaz is the first one to find a kill for Liquid. Another big shot for Diaz. And now it's all up to him. It's going to need to be an ace. He sees the blitz. He doesn't have to sweat too much. He is the warden, activates the smart glasses, and then spots out the blitz once again. Doesn't want to waste too much time trying to fight this blitz because that diffuser is going down the other side. Can't afford to turn away from him. Tries to bait out Handy. Does a lot of damage, but still hasn't killed him as of yet. Doesn't want to get too close. Even more damage done. He should be able to finish off Handy here, but can't find enough bullets. Eventually, Handy's on the floor. Finished off. Vidiking and Souls now in the post plan. Diaz has to land 2 more gnarly shots here. Vidiking is tempting fate, going for these swings, as is Souls. Another long angle, and eventually Souls will put Diaz in the dirt. 3 rounds straight for FaZe.
Nice try for Diaz, I gotta say. I mean, he made so much work of a really bad situation, but again, it's FaZe who has the upper hand. Again, they keep it an opening pick, that's the one big thing, but also Handy played that round perfectly, just on the blitz on his own. They rotated to have the majority of players on the backstep instead, and Handy was on his lonesome on the blitz. Then, of course, walks inside, isolates the last player, gets the information, and now we see the final operator bans. Will they triple down on shields because it has been a major problem? It's gotta be the blitz, surely.
You got to counter Handy.
It is, and the warden.
Yeah, ironically.
Here comes the ink glass instead.
Yeah.
They've chosen their fate.
Yeah. It's funny as well, because for FaZe here, like, they get rid of that warden, not knowing with 100% certainty that it's going to be a blitz ban. If it isn't a blitz ban, then, oh my god, blitz is even stronger now. Yeah. Warden is banned. If it is a blitz ban, then that's okay. We've got Ying. We've got Glaz. We have so many different tools in our toolkit that we could bring out. And now, immediately after that, veto, after that additional operator ban, Liquid are taking their tactical timeout.
I like this. The longer we've been in this tournament, the more commonly we see the tech timer being taken on that 4th round beginning or end of the 3rd round, because now you got the full picture of the first half. And when you're down 0-3, you need to bounce back and get that even half or get at least 2 rounds here for Liquid. There is no world in which you go 1-5 or 0-6 and can realistically beat FaZe, because they're not going to make enough mistakes for you to utilize to gain back those rounds.
Absolutely the truth. There's no way that you can let FaZe steal an aggressive lead. Well, we back into it. Tactical timeout is done and dusted. Liquid back onto the defensive side, and what do they bring in the absence of that warden, knowing full well that FaZe will likely be doubling down on one of those other aspects like the Ying or the Glaz. We already saw the Glaz teased out early on.
The thing is, they may do it. There's a very high chance they will do it, but FaZe can also just play none of those warden-oriented counter operators. Yeah, they can just play standard Heartbreach and whatever utility. Like, they have Capital, they have Graham. I mean, they got options, they got Deimos.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, on the ground floor, the basement bomb side, lab and lab support where we're going right now, the last time FaZe played it, they didn't run any shields or Glaz or Ying. They actually ran the Fuse. They ran the Dokkaebi. They ran the Sledge. They were going for map clears. So they could very well do the same thing again. But no, indeed, they are going to change things up.
Want me to say it?
What?
It's not the basement bomb site.
Oh, really?
Yes,
you were giving me the funniest look while I was talking. I'm like, what do you know that I don't?
We had a comment earlier where you're like, yeah, call out all my flaws on broadcast, and I was like, I'll say it.
You take it seriously. Yeah. Oh, good. No, I appreciate that. Look, thankfully, I don't know what I'm talking about. And
That's my job.
I've got you for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I correct you, because it's my job to say those things.
That's all right. I'll call you out when you're wrong. When do you reckon that will be?
Somebody did on Twitter, and I asked him for feedback, and the guys just ignored me. I'm like, I would like some feedback. It's hard to come by good criticism. People just complain these days. Yeah, I want to do better. So if there's anything wrong with my cast, you guys think I can do better, please let me know.
I think you should smile more.
They can't see my smile, James.
No, but I would enjoy it.
You need to watch the screen. You've seen the wrong bomb sites, for God's sake. Focus up here, okay?
All right, hold on.
Just like Handy, focusing on the bomb site right in front of him. He's by the bomb site door right now on the nuke, the perfect operator for this job. But the thing is, only one member of Liquid is inside the site itself, the rest are above. But with the gadget of nuke, you can totally sneak in, but it is a risky play.
Oh, hello? Souls has snuck in from the other side. You've got 2 players on the attack. snuck straight up and with a smoke and perhaps a plant available.
Looking
FaZe
for a
have
spot.
dominated the bomb site. This is so cheeky from Cyber. He snuck right on in there. He's planting in the smoke. As it subsides, he starts to take a little bit of damage. He's worried about the vertical ability from Liquid to deny that plant from above, but they are a bit lackluster on information. There are Valkyrie cameras in the site they can try to use. A second smoke is available for KDS. Meanwhile, resets shut down through that vertical potential. Cyber's still looking for a safe spot to plant. He needs KDS to deploy another smoke for him to have a safe place to plant. But I think FaZe are slowing down. They have the numbers advantage. They don't have to force this plant down just yet.
They can give the fuser a handing out on the nuke actually and walk in and plant with the gadget active. You'll see a brief gift on the ground but no person to red ping essentially.
Wow.
This could work if Liquid aren't paying super careful attention towards the cameras themselves, or you can give the fuser back to Cyber and then go for a backstep upstairs. Handy had a choice to chase smoke that was above earlier, but just stayed his ground instead. FaZe, they've hit the reset button. They're droning, setting up drones, trying to figure out what are we gonna do here. It's gonna be Nuke walking in with the gadget on.
In he goes.
And planting with the gadget on.
And the
They
plant
can't see it.
protected by that wall as well, but Maya does see him from above and goes for another big kill as well. The round is flipped on its head. FaZe had a 5v3 and they've lost 3 players since then. Souls and KDS struggling to try and recompose without taking that top floor. Maya now hungry for even more, and he does spot another one, a quad kill for Maya. KDS doesn't last. Great recomposure for Liquid and a huge round from Maya.
Yeah, I mean, I think Liquid perfectly understood there what they need to do in that strat. As long as they have top floor control, they are A-okay. And Liquid, or not Liquid, FaZe rather, they were trying to just 5-man downstairs. They were missing that backstab up above. And I really want to see the nuke early on when Cyber is sprinting to the bomb side and taking all these gunfights. Walk up the staircase, go for a backstab because they're trying to chase Cyber with all the cameras and the verticality. Missed opportunity for FaZe Clan, but with that being said, it totally could have worked what they were doing.
It was a really nice idea.
It really was.
Really like that Nook pick as well. But Liquid, yeah, credit to them. They held on. And even in the absence of information from Valkyrie, Maya he had an abundance of vertical holes to check, and he really knows all the spots. He clearly knows that bomb site.
There was no
really
ying,
well.
like, they'll hear the plant, right? And you start peeking the verticals. If they were spamming Candelas or Dokibikol, it might have worked to plant with the nuke. But they kind of raw-dogged it. Nobody was shooting or fighting or anything else.
That was a nice idea there for FaZe, but credit to Liquid. They got that bomb site on lock. It's the first time they actually went to that Monk's Briefing bomb site. They're not going to get to go back to it in this half. They're going to need to show that they can also hold out on this top floor and the basement bomb site if they are to tie up the scoreline. Going down 0-3 could have been part of the plan here for Liquid.
Oh, yeah?
Well, not...
Guys, let's lose 0-3 just
right,
because.
Bear with. Not that they wanted to,
Okay.
but that they were open to. Hold that thought for a second. Ask is pretty keen. I don't know if he's going to commit to this. It is way too late. We know that. We can see the outlines. There's no one there.
Oh, the players can't see the outlines? It's just us?
Shut up.
Oh, okay, so I thought they could all see each other. It's way more exciting if they can all do that. I mean, he kind of has a really good idea of the ish whereabouts.
Yeah, he does know that they're on the roof. Oh, he's worried about that. That's a very long angle.
Okay.
Did he actually see him?
Swing?
There's no way. I have no idea how players can see that well. Like, that must be a pixel.
Have you seen how close their monitors are to their faces?
Yeah, and
That's
they're all like 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, I think Brazil plays the least 4:3 of any region.
Really?
Last I checked, they play a lot of 16-10, 16-9, 3-2.
I like 3-2. I'm a 3-2 player.
I'm a 3-2 player now as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, I have the same settings as Pengu guys.
No, I have the same settings as you. I think you were first.
Oh, yeah, I was.
I've been a 16-10 guy most of my career.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about Liquid, not that they wanted to lose the first 3 rounds, but they wouldn't sweat it if they did, because by the time the 3rd round rolls around, they can ban that 3rd shield operator.
Yeah,
and it could just be
going.
that they really didn't want to deal with that shield.
And they called their tech time out as well. Like, they very much seemed prepared, but like, okay, this is going to be a game plan going forward. And we've seen a big change up, not just from Liquid, but from FaZe. There's a very different pace, different avenues now below the bomb site with 2 vertical players going to walk up a staircase with those flashbangs and take staircase control instead of bomb site control.
I like the refrag ability here. Souls and Handy together. 1 by 1. Likely to be Maya waiting for their resistance as they cross his hallway. A lot of patience here exuded by both teams. Here comes the flank though. But Souls is eagerly waiting. Rifle in hand. hard holding this flank. Ask is so very tempted. He's likely to be baited very soon.
Oh, that's
almost
close.
wins the fight under Souls, but he loses his life, and Liquid lose their flank operator. Now FaZe have to collapse on the side, but Liquid will hold firm. Nesk hiding behind his keeper barriers, resets to hold firm with the SMG-11, and FaZe are floundering, caught in these goo mines. The Deimos activates, Handy finds his shot onto Nesk, and now a 2v2 as FaZe recompose.
One more gas in the pocket right now, resets on the smoke, so they can wait this out, bait the last one, and go for a planet sim here. Totally possible. Last one comes. It hits the mark. 15, he swings Maya. Oh my god.
Unnecessary for Maya. He didn't need a swing. The plant was denied by resets. Now KDS and Handy, they can't afford to go for another plant here. They have to go deep. Resets! Reaggrosses onto him and finds the double! This guy is so damn good with that SMG-11. The immovable rock on sight. The baby face as well. He's so good for Liquid, and he keeps them going.
Beautifully played. Positioning, waiting, having discipline. Whereas Maya, we can see the gameplay differences right there. And it's funny, when you have a team of 5 players, you're going to see the game differently. Not all 5, but some of you. When you have Resets and Maya, you might be like, one guy's going to say swing, one guy's going to say wait. We can plant deny. It's important that you sync up in that situation. You both either swing together or you both hold your nerve. They didn't, and that it puts Resets in an uncomfortable situation for some people.
He doesn't care about that.
He doesn't, but some players, especially younger ones, not saying Resets is one, but let's say we're talking about one of our rookie teams here. If your teammate puts you in that 1v2, you might not be all that prepared for it, whereas veterans, I mean, they'll take it.
Yeah.
They thrive in those situations. They want those situations.
Resets is a phenomenal player, though. I mean, he does look very young. He's got a baby face, but he's actually the same age as Ask and Handy. He's 22 years old.
So he's kind of young.
Well, I mean...
22 is kind of young.
Yeah, but in the context of like Siege esports players, 22 isn't crazy young.
Okay, unrelated to this game, sorry. When you see Team BDS, are you thinking a young team or old team? Don't check this out. What do you think when you think of that roster, when you see them? I'm thinking young gunners.
Yeah,
They have the highest average age in the entire tournament.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes, they do. I saw a stat. Because Virtue's 35 billion years old. He's 30 or whatever.
So who's dragging that average up for BDS?
Virtue's dragging it up.
Oh, sorry, the new BDS. I'm still living in the past. I'm thinking about...
sorry, yeah.
No,
not Falcons.
No, you're right. And I think Liquid's probably one of the older ones as well, because Nesk would drag that up too.
Yeah. He's the second oldest player in total.
Yep, absolutely. What do you reckon the average age of players at the tournament is?
23. I know that.
You actually checked that?
I didn't check it, but somebody posted on Twitter.
Okay, I am trying to look it on my spreadsheet, but my device doesn't show averages, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. But my memory is 23, but I think it's in that area, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, previous events I checked, it was usually around 24.
Yeah.
So it could just be that we've got a younger wave of players.
Yeah. Of course, this team is a bit specific. This is the 20 partner teams, not qualification.
Yes.
So we do have teams at this event that we always say, like the Wildcard, the Fnatic, the C9, where we may not know if they would qualify through like the regular stages to a major, but they are here, and they do all have younger players.
Typically, yeah, absolutely. A lot of debutants on those teams. But Resets, I mean, yeah, he might be technically young, but he has a lot of experience. He's played on stage at 7 different events.
Okay.
He's had 11 international events that he's played at.
Really?
Yeah, 11.
That's impressive.
Yeah, 4 SIs, 5 majors, 2 EWCs.
So he's been going to SI since he's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Incredible.
That's pretty good. Now, nobody's going anywhere in this round. It's very much a stand still and stand off. We're waiting for the first move to be made, and Liquid's got a good roam. They got a good bit of pieces around the map. And it's FaZe not really getting the full map control this time. They've spent 2 minutes taking top floor and just now working down the rocket stairs. Little bit of vert, and you can see this right now. Their player checking all the angles. The drone work haven't done the D. They have 2 drones left, mind you.
Come on.
Risky.
Got to push for this reset. Oh, he doesn't want to.
It's tough now. Unfortunately,
he had no choice but to go for it. He was trapped, cornered between a rock and a hard place. Cyber found him. Cyber's found another one. Nesk is out. And a 2-player advantage for FaZe. The roam is almost completely nullified. I'm not sure if they're aware that Maya still remains lurking in the shadows upstairs on that ground floor. He has the chance to flank, and I think he's about to flank Handy. He doesn't seem to be aware of it.
Your fire popped as well. Low time for FaZe. And Maya waiting for the perfect flank. If he retakes the vert holes itself, he just denied the planter, so this is genius.
He's just holding the line, but it's allowed FaZe to get inside. Ask the last player on site. He's holding down the fort with this Vector with the ACOG. He's found 2, looking for another one. A lot of damage done.
Oh my
Finishes
God.
off Cyber. It's all up to Vidiking now, and Maya's got him dead to rights. Oh my God. Ask is so fired up from that. The site was his to hold, and he had no worries.
It must be such a hard position for Maya to be in, where it's like, don't worry, I got the vert. Like, let them plant, and Ask like, no, I had to fight this. Like, I can't run away.
I had to kill everybody.
He just kills everybody.
Damn.
But it's funny because in Ask's mind as a player, it's fine if he dies because Maya has, quote-unquote, the round from the verticality, presumably, right? So he's pretty much taken all those high-risk gunfights that normally would be round defining, but without a care in the world, possibly because Maya is the win condition. He's just there baiting for time. He's not swinging outdoors. He's waiting for FaZe to swing him, holding the angle, because Maya should have that guaranteed victory. Operator bans confirmed now. Munti, Deimos, Asami, Tubarao. Quite different from the flip side that we had before. And FaZe only really played Heartbreach like 1 or 2 rounds where it came into play, into like relevance. Not something that we see on Lair very often.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Villa. When Villa first came to pro play, everyone's playing double Heartbreach. And then there were some teams, Reciprocity, Fox's team, who's on Endless, they would be the first team that I can recall that would play no Heartbreach or Villa and just change how teams could play that map. This could be FaZe kind of trendsetting for a different playstyle.
Yeah, it could well be. That said, it's hard to imagine why you wouldn't want to bring some kind of hard breach on this top floor for that external wall that we just see Cyber using his batteries on now. Or even the wall that he's now reinforcing, which is where you would typically want to plant. If the defense leaves that reinforced, then it can be really challenging to flush players out of that corner.
Totally. It is a very, like, wall deny heavy map, and it's also why the 2-bar ban makes sense here, because again, it's just difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And I always say this, I do think that the area that this map is lacking is just the verticality. The map has it to offer, but a lot of teams aren't really going below with the idea of blocking upstairs. We see it sometimes here and there.
I think we will. I mean, that's
it'll come with time.
presumably why Ask is on the buck right now. There's no other way to really clear Bandit batteries or the Bandit juggle. We have some baby EMPs on resets to try and assist Diaz opening that external wall. But if we see Cyber juggling the wall with his Bandit batteries, then Ask is going to have to go below. Typically, we see the Deimos go downstairs as the main vertical player on this map, but obviously
it's kind of like a
banned
Night
out.
Haven lap situation where, like, with the red pings, Deimos, Scrim, you can like really track people.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is so much room just to play the block, almost like old Coastline or Border, where there's a lot of vert to be had. But again, that requires a lot of effort and map control.
Yeah, I mean, what I like to do personally is you get your hard breaches outside the wall, you use your EMPs, you bait Cyber into starting the Bandit juggle, and at the exact moment you start bucking from below, you should get a free kill.
That's a grenade for the barbed wire. Good value trade, I would say, given that barbed wire is just, it kind of exists. Nades, a bit hard to come by. Only 2 in this particular round. A lot of drones dead, only 3 left already for Liquid's first attack round. So they're going in mostly blind, and the round is still more than halfway to go.
And they have no shield to compensate for that lack of information.
Do not. This could be tough, but that's where Maya, Diaz, Nesk, as those like entry-style players can shine, because they can clear these angles. Maybe get a pick. At the very least, force back the players off FaZe Clan. They have spare reinforcements, so if Vidiking says enough is enough, you can fall back, reinforce that side wall, and then again play the layers. But the block is active like you said downstairs, getting good value on the vert.
Vidiking is burning a lot of his smoke really early to enable him playing aggressively in this hallway, but before too long, Resets is going to be able to march on forward. And he is so tempted here. He's being sprayed from the other side. It's Ask, the hard breacher, or Diaz rather.
Oh, he baited
and
it.
he does bait him. So nice from Diaz, clean. To sprint away, turn around, and take him down. Oh, but Vidiking is there. The double kill with the shotty. And he puts Liquid's push to rest. Diaz on the ground, likely to be finished off by a C4 here indeed. Nesk has found one, jumps straight back out. How do Liquid recompose after that calamity?
Gotta get Ask inside the action right now. Yeah, get those cameras, get top stairs control, and I'll either play with Nesk or go for that backstab. It's 50-50 gunfights for now. He's behind the chair!
Oh, he could have wallbanged that if only he'd known. Now it's all up to Nesk. Low HP, saw for a brief moment Vidiking on the other side. These 2 FaZe players separated. He might be able to isolate these 1v1s, but Souls finds him before he can do so. And FaZe start their defensive side. in good stride. That said, the first half was a little bit more challenging than they initially expected, so they don't have much of a lead here.
I mean, FaZe getting 3 attacker rounds is pretty damn good in the end. I mean,
Yeah, but it was 3 in a row and then 3 lost. It feels like a missed opportunity.
But then we just gotta praise Liquid's tactical timeout for making the right calls, right? Yeah. Focus on the positives here.
You
James.
are right. I mean, FaZe still have that tactical timeout in the pocket as well. Should they get a little bit of a read on how Liquid are playing?
I don't have this stat, so this could be complete BS. But from my memory, FaZe Clan is not a team that takes a lot of tactical timeouts, and especially early on. I believe, from memory, that they tend to hold on to it until like late stage of the game because they do have a really solid game plan, and they can problem solve as time progresses. And I wish we could speak more on like a one-on-one basis with the Brazilian players because it's the best region in the world, but there is still a language barrier with a lot of these players that it's hard to have like a really deep conversation with them because I'd love to pick their brains on IGLing, strats, scrims. For example, I didn't really know this until recently. In Brazil, you scrim what's called 2-2-2. So you scrim map team 1, 2 maps. Team 2, 2 maps. Team
Really?
3, 2 maps. So you scrim 3 different teams in a day.
Really?
In EU and A, we either do a 5-mapper for one team or a 3-3. So there's so much more diversity of playstyles and sharing of strats and knowledge in Brazil than other regions. I genuinely didn't know that because back when I was a player, we didn't know that system.
No, I had no idea, but that's such a good idea.
It is a really good idea.
Yeah, you get so much more variety instead of... Because over 5 maps scrimming the same team, you're really just starting to learn how to play against that team rather than learning how to play your strats against as many different teams as possible. Once again, Brazilians, just big brain. There's a reason, many reasons why Brazilians are far ahead of the rest of the world at Siege.
Okay, so this is the bomb site, Maya. You do realize this, right? There's a player. Okay, you're dead. Handy, yeah, he's never free. That's the thing. He's always busy with something. This time taking out the injury of Maya. Had Maya won that gunfight on the other hand, though, this entire round will look very different because then attackers have side control and the other Romans will have to, run back towards the bomb site. KD is on to second.
Yeah, what's going on?
Right into a crisp. Nesk 1 HP as well. This round is kind of falling apart for Liquid very quickly.
Yeah, it's really rough. Diaz is going to have to run through the fire. He's almost going to die doing so. Does eventually take down Handy. Yeah, I'd say that's worth it. Problem is he's likely to be refragged here, and he's worried about the vertical angle. Now he's got a mirror window to work with. That's not half bad, but both him and his teammate Nesk are extremely low on HP. Out comes the logic bomb. The call ringing true for these 3 FaZe players. Cyber is actively watching.
Saw the laser.
Know exactly where he is. Are they going to swing him together? He finds the first one, a quick spray, and Neska's on the floor. The re-pig with the pistol! But Cyber whips out the deagle and puts him down.
In
Big
his face.
play for the world champ, and FaZe starting very nicely on their defensive side. That's 2 rounds in a row.
Looking good. And this is why having a good anchor player is so important. There's 2 ways to play the anchor role. It's what Handy was doing, right? When you're playing the bomb side, more or less alone in that anchor position, you're holding down the fort, as we say. Either you can hide and give them a lot of control. That's one way to do it. There's no right or wrong. Or you walk around the bomb side and you're actively trying to figure out where they are and ready for a fight. If Handy is playing more passive and lets Maya walk in that door, it becomes a lot more difficult for Handy to ever get back into the bomb side unless he kills Maya. Whereas when you're hiding in a corner, it's like, okay, this may work, this might not work. The earlier you take the fight as the anchor, the bigger warning does your teammates have on the roaming to fall back towards the bomb side. So by the time the second attacker reached the bomb side, KDS was also down there now. Whereas if Handy was playing much more passive, it could have been a 2v1. And then KDS won't be there in time to respond.
Liquid look a little bit shakier on their attack.
It's just harder, like compared to like C9 you're thinking about, yeah?
Yeah. Well, the thing that strikes me is like Liquid. Very occasionally, you see individual players with so much gusto. They're like,
okay,
Mario last round. He's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna send it. I'm gonna go for this. I see a gap.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else from the rest of Liquid. And then they very slowly but surely, like one player tries to kind of see a gap, but there's no cohesion to it. They're not like, oh, guys, let's commit to this together. You compare that to how FaZe attacked.
Yeah.
There was so much conviction there.
I can see that, but I also think maybe Liquid have been caught in a bit of a web here of, against C9, this worked every single round.
Yeah.
And we did have the conversation, can they do this against like the best teams in the world? They're up against a literal world champion.
Yeah.
So it's like, But yeah, I think you're right. I also think it's fair game for Liquid to try it out. That was the first time when Maya was like playing pure gap finding and just going for the bomb side. It didn't work. Now they know that. As long as they don't do it again, I'm completely okay with it.
This is a little bit more slowly and surely. Nesk has breached a wall onto site, furthering that breach.
This proving the flex player, by the way, playing Striker, playing Heartbreach, playing Entry, getting the kill as well.
Love that. He's going to go straight deep in. He's actually going to look for a plant. Maya's going to contest the vertical holes as well, dropping down the hatch, and he's caught off guard. This is a very early plant from Liquid, and Maya is ready to cover his teammate. FaZe looking so lost. They did not have any idea the plant was going down, and now as they trudge their way back to site, they are easily taken care of. Liquid untouchable. What is Vidiking to do but desperately try to open some vert? There's no chance of it. It's a 1v5 and a flawless round for Team Liquid.
Simply just lack of vert holes there from FaZe. I mean, you need one of two things. Either information to then deny the plant or see where it's going down, or a ton of vert holes to just peek out wherever it happens. They had neither.
Yeah.
Operator bans now. So I don't really have... I mean, okay, I can see Togepi being a problem. Outside of that, I feel like it's a pretty free game here.
Yeah. I know. I'm just thinking back. My brain is still stuck on that previous round. So Liquid, when they defended that bomb site really successfully, they had a Valkyrie, right? And they had the ability to hold it in, what was it, 2v4 post-plant from 2v4. Upstairs? They just held on to that purely through the vert and the information. FaZe lacked both of those things. And now we see the Grim ban and the Mirror ban. FaZe have been liking that Mirror pick. I feel like Liquid's Grim hasn't necessarily been instrumental though.
No, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, it's annoying to play against. And also now you can free yourself off the mute most likely, because it's gonna... Only real Grim counter is the mute jammer, but the mute's great for a couple things. It's great against Blitz, it's great against Togepi, and it's great against the Grim. And we saw FaZe play a lot of those operators. Liquid haven't shown it yet, but now they're kind of hovering the possibility of it at least, and it's gone.
Yeah, man, never mind, that Blitz is picked off of. We're actually going to see this Nook. I feel like we've seen more Nook in this match today than we have in the rest of the tournament so far.
Yes, in our casts for sure. I really love Nook as a character, but it
because
only
she's
really...
Danish, right?
Yeah, I'm so biased. So no one can say her name correctly either. That's the big... Yeah, I mean, you're pretty good at it.
Thank
but you're Pingu's duo. So like
that's actually my name. I don't have a name aside from Pingu's duo.
No, yeah. Little fun banter there from the green room earlier. But that's the thing. People say like Nook or Knock. Like,
yeah, I hear a lot of Knock.
Nook, yeah, knock. Who's there? Like not Nook. Like come on. But it can only really work as an operator when you're up against heavy intel, the Valkyrie, the Echo, the Maestro, etc. And even when you're up against them, it's still a gamble because they can hear you walking. You're not like silently walking around. So if you go, I hear a player, but I don't see them. It might be Nook.
Yeah.
At this level of play, players are good enough to know those things, of course. It's not your average ranked or casual match here. Especially not with these two teams.
I like this Maverick pick.
This is a struggle, I feel like, of like, what are we...
Very, very, very careful.
C4 fake.
Worried about a C4? Was that a rip? And then a pocket?
I think he's just mind gaming himself right now because you have to always think, what if it's pre-ripped?
I mean, it's been a little while since he's been on Liquid. Maybe he's a little bit juked out. He hears ghosts.
He's very safe.
Oh man, poor guy.
I will say, this is the right thing to do, by the way, especially against FaZe Clan. Because they would know how to deal with this.
I think he's worried that there's a player proning him.
Also possible.
But he should be worried about Cyber potentially peeking him from this balcony
actually,
here.
Yeah. There is a drone being flicked every once in a while, but with the right timing could work. And he finds resets. He types in chat instantly.
Oh, immediately dropping to the floor. That was good timing there from Ask. He's still worried, trying to open this wall. He's struggled so much. This is a bit embarrassing for Liquid. They've struggled to get this first step done. And they are about to rotate this Ashe over, who's going to finally destroy the soft part of the wall. But 2 players down for poor Liquid makes this attack very challenging. Maya needs to win this fight. Takes a bit of damage from Cyber, who'll just peel on back.
Definitely awkward position. You have a glass, you want to execute, but now you've kind of lost a lot of manpower before that happens. Final 60 seconds of the round. Diaz on the glass, and those 2 smoke grenades in pocket would have to go absolutely massive in this round. We got Toxic Babes, you got C4s. They're not going to give it to you for free. They're going to counter you. Look at this.
Yeah, and now he has to wait out that gas. Wants to toss out his second smoke, maybe even go deep. Vidiking still has one more gas remaining. As he burns that, Liquid still need to find an opening, find some kind of a gap. Ask desperately looking for something from up here on the rafters. Maya needs to find an entry though. Remember, it is Ask who has that diffuser, and now he's found a kill. Another one for Ask. 3 on the round, all up to Cyber. No C4 to speak of. Maya has to be the one to cover because, as I said, Ask has that diffuser. Is he going to be able to get inside? There's a Syria gate in his way, and amidst the chaos, Maya goes down. It's up to Ask to try and find him, but Cyber defends his territory. It would have needed to be an ace from Ask, and he could not get it done. FaZe hold down the fort, and they are edging closer and closer to putting this game behind us. It's 6-4 on the score.
It's actually crazy. They are Runegate won the round for FaZe single-handedly. Ask was on 2 low HP with diffuser on the wrong side of the wall. And the thing is, Maya ash breached the wall open, but doesn't destroy the gate. The only thing they could have maybe done there is you're gonna ash charge the wall, Maya will tank the gate, and then cover with 1 HP to enable Ash to plant. But then I feel like you're better off taking a 2v1 gunfight, which they tried, but they had to go in through the door and it was just messy. Regardless of all that, Cyber, FaZe, positioning, played it again cool, calm and collected. No shake in the server right now because, again, the veterans are playing right now.
That's right. I mean, a huge clutch from Cyber to get his team on a match point. That's what you expect. This guy's been playing the game for 8 years now.
Regardless, one of the best players to ever do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there was, I forget which calendar year it was, but there was one year where he was like the undisputed GOAT, basically. A couple of years back, and I would say he hasn't fallen off. He was like the best, like by far. He's always been phenomenal.
Yeah. And sorry, when I say he's been playing the game for 8 years, that's his pro career.
Oh,
I'm sure he's been playing the game longer than that.
So he didn't spawn into a pro career. He might have played beforehand.
Presumably. 4.5 or 4 and a bit of those years were on FaZe.
Yeah. The fun thing, year 1, season 1 pro players in all the regions that were in ANU, I guess, they spawned in Pro League career. Game came out December 1st, 2015, and Pro League qualification was like January or in December.
Yeah. Like, hey,
spawned in, I'm a pro player now. Oh, okay, good night, Souls.
Yeah.
Nice shot from Maya, bit of a pre-fire there. Good drone work again as for Liquid, but they've lost a lot of drones, most of these drones very early. And that's why Liquid in the first 60, 90 seconds, they're getting a lot done. But then the mid to late round really starts slowing down. Next 5 seconds of Cyber as well. Now Liquid, 2-man advantage, slow it down, hold those angles, expect aggression because FaZe Clan will likely lash out on you. Doga Piccolo is great to stop that.
Yeah, it's perfect. When you get an advantage, just lock things down with a logic bomb or with an E1D. Slow down the round. Liquid don't need a rush from here on out. They know they've got map control now. They can begin working on this vert. Maya looking for a little bit more. FaZe looking to play the safe game for now. They're not overextending.
Okay. I mean, they got the Goya Fire, they got Toxic Babes. Maybe they're kind of hoping that Liquid will just kind of run out of time, be very slow because they're expecting aggression. FaZe will now play it slow. Liquid are holding dead angles, doing nothing. Like, they're droning still, checking all these things. And with 3 Toxic Babes and Goya Fire, this very well could be one of those utility rounds. FaZe also 2 spare reinforcements could close off this wall that we're looking at right now if they want to. Totally possible.
Oh, another goo mine goes out. That does tell Resets exactly where KDS is hiding, but he's on this really narrow angle. He's about to contest a fight from the stairs. Diaz, bit of damage, goes both directions. There's no doubt Diaz has the better weapon, but KDS is still looking for a headshot. Diaz, another spray. He's the one with that diffuser, mind you, and a good pre-fire. KDS is done and dusted. Handy elsewhere on the site, holds down against that vert from Maya. 40 seconds to play as Liquid approach the bomb site.
Still got the Goya Fire, but again, they overwhelm the bomb site. Down the heads they go. Pressure on Handy. 1v4. It's clock time, baby.
He's got to do it. Doesn't have a lot of information to work with. Round in the corner, Diaz is hungry for more. And Liquid, well, they're not done yet. They keep this game going. Run it back, they say. FaZe do not have this game in the bag yet.
Early deaths, no way back in, and Liquid holding on strong. I'm not sure if Maya dropped down the hatch or died to the verticality with that shotgun, but either way, gets a bit of information. And FaZe, late in the game had their game plan. Now, you can call your timeout. You're up 6-5. You can fully focus on the upcoming single round and just get that 7-5 victory and end it there.
Yeah, last chance to lock it in before we go to overtime. What do FaZe talk about now? I mean, what bomb sites do they go to, I guess, is the first choice.
Anything but top is open.
That's right. And they didn't have a lot of success on that Bunks bomb site.
I didn't hate the basement one. I mean, they lost 2 players early, and it's still low on time for Liquid.
Yeah. I would much rather go back to basement, even though they just lost it, than go back to lab and support.
I rate
Sorry,
that.
not lab and support, Bunks and briefing on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Because they didn't look like they knew how to hold that from the vert, and Liquid looked very well drilled on that attack.
I'm
the
with
way
you on that one.
Nesk executed, I wouldn't want to be playing against that. Let's go back down to the basement, but modify that early game a little bit. Make sure that you don't lose bodies in that roam.
Let's see what they end up going for here. And of course, it comes down to Liquid's response, because when you do an attack one time, you're not expecting it to work a second. So they're going to go Bunks bomb set, actually.
Oh, I don't
with
like
some
this.
modifications. A Doc coming out, a Kaid. Different look than before. Hiding the Kaid, actually, for the wall deny.
It's a good move because Liquid did open up both the main
Yeah.
external wall and the internal wall with the can openers and the ace respectively very early into last round. That said, even with that Kaid up, you got to worry about resets on the Twitch. We've seen so much Twitch play out of Liquid, and if that drone can sneak in and take down those electric claws, then it really doesn't matter you brought the Kaid to the table.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Gonna stick the entire lineup. Armor into ace, the rest stays the same. And I mean, I will say this lineup can do a lot of damage. I mean, you got the global gadget and Dokubi, played most rounds. A shield operator, always phenomenal. Soft destruction, utility clear. What's not to like about it? I'm curious what the train of thought is behind the Doc. If this is just a, I have an ACOG and I can stim myself, or if there is a deliberate, maybe if they brute force the Cabot Tower, they're gonna start spamming nades or something like that.
Oh, I think he's just aggro roaming on the top
Oh
floor.
yeah, he's aggro.
Yeah, look at how aggressively he's swinging here. 2 more drones get sent on
We're
out.
drone hunting.
Yeah, well, he is burning a lot of drones, but now he's going to get swung. He's going to get flashed. He will have to try and retreat to safety.
he's
Takes a
out.
bit of damage, but he said, okay, I've done my job. I've wasted a bunch of time. I can fall back. I can heal up.
Yeah.
I can protect the next layer of this defense.
This might just be a matter of let's target their drones. I mean, they're killing drone, falling back, killing drone, falling. Look at this. It's textbook. It's kind of old school style siege, but it's so effective. And Liquid, they're not really walking in without the drones first. They're doing that.
But he doesn't know Neska's already crossed. Does eventually get the inkling. There's still a dread mine on that door. He saw the ace for a brief moment. Diaz claims his life. As Sol's not effective enough in his position on the top floor. And now Vidiking is all alone. He sees that blitz. He's got KDS nearby, but KDS has not revealed his position as of yet. Vidiking down on the floor. This is not ideal whatsoever for FaZe. Liquid are on the edge of pushing OT. The Twitch drone finishes off the down Vidiking. Resets, adding insult to injury. KDS has fallen, and FaZe are in shambles.
Great push right now. We see all the silhouettes. They're coming for him.
Oh
Cyber,
my
1 HP
God.
gets taken down. Asmith at the bomb site.
All up to Handy now, not Flash. The C4 comes out. The Blitz is hunting
shot
him
it.
down. There's nothing for it. A flawless round. Ask is fired up, and Team Liquid have booked their tickets to OT.
FaZe were hunting for drones. Liquid were hunting for bodies. They take that roam control perfectly. I was gonna say maybe get the Blitz into the front lines and create that map space, right? But no, the Blitz was a backstabber. You had the front push as well. And I think the Dokubi was a cherry on top, combining that link in the middle for sound cues. And I mean, that's a confident looking and scary looking Liquid. Much more akin to the C9 matchup than earlier FaZe.
Yeah, wow. That's the Liquid that we want to see, the Liquid that we need to see.
Defense now, though. I want to see them stay on attack because now they got the flow going, right?
Well, let's remember, Carlstown minds back to that first half. Yeah, it started strong for FaZe 3 in a row, but then Liquid really found their mojo on defense. They won 3 rounds in a row despite not getting a single opening pick in any of those rounds.
And in the second half, FaZe started off strong with 2 rounds in a row. Then Liquid gets 1, FaZe gets that 6th and match point, then 2 rounds in a row for Liquid. So it's been FaZe making their, the first play, Liquid making some adaptations perhaps, and then coming back strong.
If this ends up being a Liquid win, FaZe are really going to find that choice of going to bunks again really came back to bite them.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Didn't look like they had the best playbook on it before, and I'm not gonna say the playbook is the issue there, but Liquid, they had the perfect read, particularly on that bomb site.
Yeah, now Liquid really know how to play that box briefing bomb site. We're going to the top floor now as they're back on the defense here in overtime. We restore the bans from that first half when it was all about those shield bans against FaZe. Not wanting to let Handy play that blitz. So what do FaZe do instead?
Expect a slow one here right now. Often when you go into overtime, it's a little bit slower, and often it becomes a little bit more defender favorite because of that as well. It's also why we would like to see the echo, of course information, but also plant deny, when time runs low. I was gonna say there's no wall deniers, but because FaZe they banned the Kite and the Bandit,
That's
unlike
right.
Liquid.
But they finally actually bring hard breach, unlike what they did in
Yeah.
the first half for most of it.
Looks like a much more standard attack round so far, going ops room, getting the exterior wall, trying to go for a default plant. And that's why it's funny that they're playing smoke, echo, and defense, because that counters the default take. So I feel like they both have the same kind of idea. This Yoga drone sadly will die with nothing to be granted for it. Bit of a shame. No IQ needed, just use that good drone work, check the corners. Gotta protect that second Yoga, my guys, come on.
Yeah, keep that in a safe spot. Ooh, look
That's
at this
aggressive.
from Handy. This
Good
is
drone.
very cheeky. He should be exposed.
no.
Oh, a C4 comes out. It was just a bait there from, I believe that was Diaz. Oh, good info though from the
No
Yokai, and the
Yokai.
second Yokai drone is taken down.
Okay. Nesk though shows up, takes down Cyber. That's ace off the board. Not sure exactly where that happened, but a good kill regardless.
And now Handy, he's got control of the mezzanine, but not full control as of yet. He's also got to get someone else to come and pick up that diffuser. Vidaking's now gone and replaced that position. Nesk is
got a fortress.
amidst a palace of these Kiba barriers on the side.
Oh,
Surely
it's gone.
a Rotero drone will get
Oh,
rid of all
Nesk.
of it. Doesn't matter. Nesk holds his ground. Meanwhile, Arse doubles down onto Vidaking. It's a 2v5 for FaZe.
What?
KDS deletes Meyer on a pixel angle and looks hungry for more. Moving in from the bathroom, but he needs to relocate. He needs to go and join up with Souls. But guess what? Nesk has his domain, and it's not going to be easy to flush him on out. Souls hunting for it, but there's support from downtown. Diaz is there. Up to KDS now against 4 players.
Oh.
1, 2. Surely not a third. He's going to need to ace up here on a sliver of HP. Ask and resets. Retake. Nesk's home ground. Another one for KDS. Surely not. One more bullet is all he needs. But resets will never lose a clutch. Team Liquid take the lead.
Permission to rename that pool table to resets. 2 rounds in 2 separate occasions. A huge game-defining clutch to keep Liquid in this, and now also take the round lead up against FaZe. And I was gonna praise Nesk. He was playing that positioning game so well, being the centerpiece, and the entire team playing around him. And then it was a 4v1, and they were like, "Wait, we're not gonna lose this, right?" And they got a little bit too silly, and KDS was nasty with those headshots.
Yeah, he really was. It was a very sharp
The
round
Maya
from him.
pre-fire one tap. Oh,
That was nuts. But Liquid, I mean, that was a decisive round. If you set aside some
Yes.
gnarly shots and some exit frags from KDS,
Very decisive.
that was the open and shut case for Team Liquid. And now they have their first match point. We've already seen 2 match points. FaZe fumbled in that second half, and now they go onto their defense. They go back up to the top floor, and if there's any shining light for them, Pengu, it's the fact that FaZe did not lose this bomb site in their defensive half.
So back to the drawing board for Liquid. What can they change from before? Right now I'm seeing a Jackal from Ask with 10 seconds left. I'm thinking that's not the solution. Okay, there we go.
Wait, double shield?
5 seconds remaining.
There's no way.
Okay, so double shield thinker, no less.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
so often we can go like bathroom windows, museum window, you know, just really say we want to take this area and just full send it. The one thing that I feel like that could be enabled here as well is maybe get the Dokkaebi. I'm not sure if you need the Ash. There's no mirror, for example, has been banned away. But regardless, this is going to be a big investment into a full send on this potential final round.
Yeah, this is scary for FaZe.
I think Reset said, I've earned a Blackbeard round. And I was like, give it to me.
Dude, he's had so many clutches. I can't believe he's
6
only
and
had
8, by the way.
6 kills because it feels like he's had such an impact.
This is the thing, impact and impactless kills. He's got 6 kills, 3 of those combined for 2 clutches, 2 rounds. So when you look at it that way, the scoreboard doesn't really tell much of a story.
It tells a little bit of a story.
A little bit, but not much.
It does show you how impactful Ask and Diaz have been, the 2 newest additions to Liquid.
Ask had like a 4K or a 3K where he won the round. He also had a 3K where they lost the round. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
But still, it's been a full team effort from both sides. I know Viddy King, you're thinking, he's 3 and 10, talk about him. He's the IGL, and he plays these pivotal roles, and he's been great as well in this game.
Yeah, and in this round in particular, Viddy King's role is to hold off that external balcony with his smoke grenades for as long as possible and delay that push coming in. Now, typically, Liquid only had 1 shield. Now he knows it's a Blackbeard. He's got that smoke really deep. He's trying to hold on for as long as he possibly can. That said, the Blackbeard is a dangerous foe to be contriving with.
Issue is no nades. If you can bounce a nade and push it and take a bit of space in that hallway and force Viddy King back, this G11 shotgun is less lethal from a range. They've got an ops room though. Bit of rotation now from Ass going across the map, and Reese is still baiting around this area. Careful now, Viddy King. You don't want to die early. Yes, your smokes are gone, but your life is still very valuable.
And so is his position. And he's prepping a C4. This could be deadly against Diaz. It goes all the way out. It's double C4! Oh, Handy, you've just unlocked this round. Now Liquid have to get desperate. Up comes the blitz from the mezzanine. Meanwhile, Resets eventually loses his fight onto Viddy King. There's a solid crossfire here, and Handy and KDS team up together to push this game the distance. That's right. FaZe have made us need 15 rounds to settle it. And of course, this classic Brazilian derby will never end until each team has given it everything they've got.
The timing on C4 was disgusting. I mean, if you throw that 5 seconds earlier or 5 seconds later, it's a whole different scenario. If it's 5 seconds earlier, you get 0 kills. 5 seconds later, there's 4 attackers in your face. So they're going to double jump in museum window and then walk up rocket stairs with 2 people. That's a 4v1 or a 4v2. And in C4 at the perfect timing, it completely stops the push. There was no backstab. It was just a frontal staircase take with a triple crossfire established from FaZe Clan, and it shut it down.
Next level C4 kill.
Oh, we're going here again.
Oh, don't tell me. Well, at least it's Liquid on the defense. Liquid actually have a pretty solid defense of this lab support. They won it once and lost it once.
No love for the 4th bomb site, huh?
No, actually.
What's up with that?
What's the name of that one?
It's Armory...
Weapon or maintenance or something like that?
Yeah, weapons and something.
Yeah. It doesn't really get a lot of play ever.
I like it.
Really?
Yeah, in my Diamond Champion rank games, the enemy doesn't know how to attack. I like that. But I understand why it's a lower preference bomb site. I think it's one of those...
It's harder to defend vertically is the problem.
Yes, exactly. And with horizontally, when you got like, for example, Kaid and Bandit banned out, it's like you can't really trick the exterior wall at all either. So your win conditions come down to like a lot of gunplay, really. And it's just, I think, like a bit of a risk, essentially.
Yeah. No, this bomb site here, defense for Liquid, as we've seen previously, it's going to come massively down to this very top floor bomb site, or top floor above the bomb site, rather. All the verticality. Wow, Ask really wants to get aggressive here. Seems a bit unnecessary. Liquid seem to be pretty solid on their defense when they have the patience to see what FaZe are cooking up.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is make a play that nobody expects you to make on 7-7. Take that risk, because I always say this, risk assessment changes. A play you would make 9 out of 10 times in a regulation without match point, you might not take almost ever in 7-7 all the time, because if you make the play and it doesn't work out, you might be throwing the round for your team. So it's why I tend to say that in overtime, rounds they go slower because there's less risks to be taken. FaZe Clan right now also showing us no one's risking anything. They're droning, holding passive angles, burning utility. Yes, it's early stage of the round, but they could have gone a lot faster if they simply wanted to, because Liquid aren't contesting them. They're double droning everything.
This DMR from Nesk is the perfect tool for holding this top floor. Yeah, Ask has found Handy. I don't know where that is. I also don't know why Handy's on that Dokkaebi entering alone.
That's huge kill.
Yeah. Oh, great shot from Maya. Souls does trade himself back, so at least FaZe gets something out of it, but this is not a good look. And FaZe have had far better attacks than this, but the wind has completely depleted from their sails. KDS needs this kill. He
Oh,
loses
boy.
his life. Nesk finishes him off. Cyber and Vidiking looking desperate
Discipline.
now. Vida finds one, but Nesk back alive again. And another headshot with that DMR. It's all up to Cyber to try and save this game for FaZe. Oh, they reloaded 4 bullets into this match, and Liquid are making them look silly. For the first time in a hell of a long time, it looks like Liquid may get the better of them. As Cyber hunting for more, but he's got this verticality to contend with. Liquid can fall back.
Don't count him out though. Low health on Ask. Semi-low on Nesk, and he's got time to work on his side. The issue is he kind of missed that opening kill upstairs when he was sprinting past the hallway, bit of missed timing. He's got to go in the breach and force a GG in chat. They're taunting him.
Oh, that is toxic from Ask and from Maya. FaZe lean on Cyber now to finish the job. 3 players to find. He finds the first. But for the first time in 2 years, Liquid have finally toppled the beasts of FaZe. The world champions have been taken down, and Liquid soar to the top.
I know it's hard to look at this Liquid lineup and go, oh my god, dude, they're so much better, because you're losing Paolo, that golden duo between him and Nesk. But I feel like what Liquid needed more than anything else, it wasn't getting rid of a player. It was changing their identity as a team. It's just getting a new influx of ideas and creations to play into this game. And we're seeing a different Liquid today and yesterday than we've seen in the past. It's a good blow-up, and they're very excited about it. You know, it's always good new blood in the team. Kind of revitalize everybody.
It took a hell of a long time for Liquid to once again break into relevancy, but who would have thought that importing a player from North America and an ex-player that hasn't touched the team in years and dropping one of the most iconic duo, half of one of the most iconic duos in Palu would actually lead to a better team.
IGL
Liquid.
Lagonis, we can't understate that as well. They're IGL for years.
Absolutely. So many key components of this Team Liquid roster have changed, and they seem better for it. On the flip side of that, FaZe Clan started their campaign here at Reload, taking down Team Falcons, who are probably the most feared team at this event, at least with how many chicken cards have been played against them. And then they lost to W7M. Now they've lost to Team Liquid. What's going on with these world champions?
It's a good question. What's happening at this event? Well, upsets, craziness. I feel like Game 4 and Game 5, the final 2 ones, are going to be absolutely spectacular.
We were promised a crazy event here at Reload in Rio, and, well, it has delivered so far. But we're not done for the day, so stick with us. We've got more matches coming up your way.